This is the Vance Crowe Podcast.
What do you think happens when you die?
I've thought about it a great deal. It's a damn good question, and it's in a lot of people's minds. It's hard to answer. I don't really have a strong point of view about it. We do have a universe. I do feel that there's a greater force in the universe, whether the force is religious or whatever, and it's kind of been puzzling to me as to what might happen. In the Catholic Church, of course, I grew up with a notion that you either went to hell, purgatory, or heaven. I've kind of outgrown, I wouldn't say outgrown, but I find that difficult to absorb at this stage of my life. And while I've allowed myself to dwell on the answer to your question, when I read from Einstein's book, Out of My Later Years, and figure out that he hasn't figured it out yet, I don't waste a hell of a lot of time. I figured if he couldn't figure it out, it's probably not going to be difficult to me. And I think it's one of the things that as I look forward to my own demise, I'm concerned that there's a probability that I will never again be in contact with friends, family, relatives that I've gotten to know over a lifetime. And that being cremated, I just wonder if I go into, I would say that maybe the Buddhism philosophy of nothingness is what I'll be in, nothingness, but nothingness can be ecstasy. And so I kind of semi-rationalize my feeling as being one where I go into a nothingness, which would be equivalent to you're going to bed at night, getting into a deep sleep, and not waking up. I've had the experience of the tunnel of light, which has been written up, and where people feel themselves going down a light tunnel when they're dying, and into this magnificent, resplendent room, and get a very ecstatic feeling, and then the lights go out. And I thought I was unique in having that experience, but I talked to someone who interprets dreams. They put me online, and I found out a lot of people have that vision of a tunnel of light.
When did that happen? What was going on?
That happened about 10 years ago. Interestingly, the director of spiritual welfare at Marquette, Father John Nouse, who was a Jesuit priest, was a house guest of mine when that happened.
Oh, really?
But I thought nothing of it. I never even talked to him about it. I just thought, gee, that was a funny dream. So I've walked all around your question, and I haven't given you an answer, except that I think I'm not capable of giving you an answer. I'm only capable of giving you my feeling.
You know, you said that you talked about your friendships and all of your family that you would want to see again.
Yeah.
Friendship and family is maybe the biggest part of your life now. Yeah. What do you think you've learned, or what has changed about the way you've thought about friendship now that you're 99 as opposed to when you were, say, my age at 38?
Yeah, I think as I got older in my later years, since friends are family you choose, I found that my friendships were every bit as strong, emotionally and otherwise, with friends as they were and are with family. So friends became a vital part of my existence for that reason. Yeah, and in my case, I thought about friends in categories. And one way I would categorize a friend would be, in my own mind, if I were committed to a destination for eternity, and I could take my family, my immediate family, and 5 friends with me for the rest of time, who would I take among my friends? And it was a way of kind of sorting out who might be the most important. And it couldn't be someone who was demised. And I often, I thought, well, you know, I would hate to limit it to 5, because when I look back on life, I have a whole trail of people who I were friends, mentors, and who I would not wish to give up if I had any choice at all.
Did you notice any patterns emerge about the type of people you considered for those 5?
They were always people who had leadership qualities, where I learned where they had a side to them, experience-wise and otherwise, which was different from mine, so that I could learn a great deal from them. And where their interests were broad, not narrow and deep, so that we could talk on a broad range of subjects when we were talking, both personal, whether it was in the field of art or business or whatever. So there are people with very broad-ranging interests, and not narrow and deep in how they lived and thought.